What's up again, everybody? It's been a while since we've done one of these, but let's take a look at a fun and interesting combo. So when the Thor set came out, I totally overlooked the Punisher cards as they are all 5 or 6 costs, and their abilities don't really blow you away. However, I played a casual draft game against my good friend Chris this past weekend and was smitten with this combo. The Uncommon Punisher is a 5-cost Bolt character that says when Punisher is KO'd, roll her and any Punisher character dice in your used pile, deal 1 damage to target opponent for each Bolt rolled, and here's the interesting thing. Then prep those dice. Punisher herself is statted in such a way that she's easy to KO. She's got a 4-1 bottom side and a 6-3 top side, meaning that she gets KO'd very easily when she attacks and is blocked. The when KO'd ability is the really interesting thing, particularly when combined with the Uncommon Absorbing Man. Absorbing Man says while Absorbing Man is active, when a when KO'd effect is used, you may use a copy of that effect. So let's play out a scenario in which Absorbing Man is active and you KO one of your Punisher dice. You re-roll your Punisher and deal damage to your opponent if you've rolled any bolts, and then she moves to prep. After that, Absorbing Man uses a copy of the effect and you roll that Punisher die again, dealing damage to your opponent if you roll any bolts. That die then returns to the prep area. If you're only rolling one Punisher die, the ability itself is fairly tame, even with the second proc from Absorbing Man. However, if you have another Punisher or 2 in your used pile at the time of the first KO, then you also get to roll those dice alongside the first when KO'd trigger and prep them as well. This would be even crazier if you could roll them during the Absorbing Man proc, but they are already prepped at that point, so you only get to roll the one Punisher that got KO'd originally. Still, prepping 2 or 3 Punishers and dealing some damage is pretty cool. Let's make it even better by including a few pieces that improve when KO'd abilities. The first one being Rare Polaris, or is it Polaris? Polaris. One of them. She's a 4-cost shield character that allows you to pay a shield when one of your characters is KO'd to return it to the field at level 1. So conceivably, we could KO our own Punisher during our main step, do the double proc of the when KO'd ability from both Punisher and then from Absorbing Man, and then pay a shield to bring the Punisher back on its 4-1 side, which incidentally is a perfect side to KO it again with something like Magic Missile and get 2 more triggers. And then if we have another shield, we can just do it again and again and again. As long as we have shields and bolts, we can kind of cycle this ad nauseum, which is pretty cool, kind of like an OTK. So what else do we add to this 3-card combo to form a good 10-card team? My first thought after finding a win condition generally is how do I plan to ramp or churn to it? We're going to need some strong ramp, particularly with a 5-cost win condition that really wants me to invest 10 to 15 or so energy into it for the dice to win. Now your first thought might be something like Spot Ramp or Mimic Ramp, but we're going to use something that works particularly well with Absorbing Man in Rare Chwinga. Rare Chwinga is a 2-cost swarm character that has a very strong when KO'd ability. If we ping it out with Magic Missile while Absorbing Man is active, then we get to prep 2 dice, one for the Chwinga trigger off of the when KO'd ability and one for the Absorbing Man proc off of the when KO'd ability. And seeing how the level 1 and level 2 sides on Chwinga have 1 defense, then paying 1 bolt to prep 2 is really strong. Plus you're also prepping the Chwinga, which is also good. Factor in the small swarm benefit and you have a consistent ramp and churn option. Let's talk about control next. The common dupe captures a character die when KO'd, and with Absorbing Man you actually capture 2 character dice. That is crazy good. Plus the opponent doesn't get their dice back until the start of your next turn, meaning that you could conceivably roll your dupe again after the turn that you KO'd it, KO him again after you fielded him once you rolled him, and capture the same dice without your opponent having access to them on their turn. Very powerful control piece, particularly on a KO team. Next up is the cheapest method of KOing your own dice. Fabricate allows us to KO our Punishers for free and save our energy for either Polaris or Magic Missile to do it again. It also allows us to KO 2 Punishers at the same time, giving us 4 procs for 3. Unfortunately, it does not trigger the when KO'd ability on Chwinga because Chwinga is looking for non-combat damage, and this is an ability KOing your character dice. So sadly, there's no little bit of synergy there, but that would be cool too if it did. All right, in an effort to mix things up and not throw Shriek on every team, we're going to put Huntress on here. She's got a fun when fielded effect that allows us to KO our Punishers as well as our opponent's control pieces. If our opponent tries to prevent this with Madame Mask, we can just remove Madame Mask with dupe and have free reign to field Huntress freely. If you want to try this team out yourself and you want to make it a bit more competitive, this is where you would put Shriek. Finally, we'll tack on an energy fixer, and rather than fixing for bolts, let's fix for shields. We're going to be buying so many bolt characters in Chwinga, Punisher, and Huntress that we shouldn't be hurting for bolts. Fixing for shields allows us to more easily put together the Punisher Polaris combo, cutting down on our need for a lot of Punisher dice, and that's good savings. As for basic actions, obviously one of our basic actions is Magic Missile, and our second basic action provides a bunch of value in the way of combo combo potential. Momentum allows us to do insane things. If we were to KO our Chwingas and Punishers in order to ramp a bunch of dice and do the combo, we can then play Momentum to roll the Chwingas, Punishers, and ramped dice into the reserve pool and field our Punishers again alongside a ton of energy that we didn't have before. It can get insane really fast. This is one of those win more cards, I think, but it's also super fun to play with, and this is very much a casual team. So I'm throwing it on there, and I'm going to buy a bunch of them, and I'm going to try to roll my entire prep area and go crazy and do crazy things. So overall, this team is pretty slow, and I would not consider this competitive. Any team with a win condition centered on fielding multiple 5 costs and then KOing them is hard-pressed to become competitive, but in a casual tournament or a casual game, this is going to be a ton of fun to play. With all of these combo pieces, this team has a decent shot at an OTK if piloted well, and can definitely scratch the itch of all of the people who love winning with interesting and fun strategies. Let me know what you think about the team in the comment below. Tell me what you would change and what you would add, what you would take away, what you think is too cool or not cool at all. And as always, thanks for watching.